Hey, welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. I'm Perry Black, and on this show we have a father-daughter, our clinical director Chad Strike and his beautiful daughter Cassie, and how they have created a dynamic of fostering right here in Central Arkansas. We'll be right back. Welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. I'm your host, Perry Black. And on this show, we don't have one guest, we have two. You know, there's a commercial years ago, a Search commercial, Cassie, and it says, Search is a breath mint. No, Search is a candy mint. Stop, you're both right. So we have two guests, which is twice as good as one.
Yes.
And for our folks that are now watching that maybe you're wondering why they haven't changed the channel yet, are looking at y'all going, what up with them two? This is Chad Strike. He is our clinical director and a foster dad, as well as being a dad and a grandpa.
I am a grandpa.
And his lovely daughter, Cassie, who is a foster sister and a daughter.
Yes.
So it's Father-Daughter Day today here at Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. And Cassie occasionally comes by and sees us here at Family Church Bryant at our college ministry, which we're always blessed. And in a previous show, Chad, we had a guy from Agape Church, Stephen, who is a foster dad. And I didn't realize he went to Agape, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I told him all about how I met you. So why don't we talk about that, Cassie? You want to?
Yeah.
Sure.
We'll talk about that right now. How did I meet Chad Strike? Chad, how long have you been on staff at Second Chance Youth Ranch as our clinical director?
Going on 18 years.
18 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
A young man named Matt Frederick, who's in private practice. I've known him since he was 12. His dad helped me actually start the school the same year, Arkansas Christian Academy. The same year we started construction at the ranch, all those years ago. And Matt came to my office one day as a LCSW, and he said, I feel like I'm going to go into my own private practice. And I said, well, we've got to find a replacement, a clinical director, which back then the clinical director was kind of like the daily operations director. It was kind of do a little bit of everything, which probably still is.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, who do you got? So he said, I have three people. He told me who they were, which I didn't know any of you. And he said, these are the three candidates. And I said, I want to talk to that Chad guy. And I said, where's he go to church? He said, well, I don't know. I think he goes to First Southern Baptist in Bryant. And so I said, well, I want to meet him. So we met over at Foolin's Restaurant in West Little Rock, Chad, you and Matt and I, and we sat down, and immediately, we both knew you were going to become our new clinical director. But come to find out, you actually attend Agape Church, which is where I served for a number of years as youth pastor and several other things. And by that point, I'd already moved on to my own ministry and was doing the ranch and the church and the school and all that kind of stuff. So here we are, 18 years.
18 years.
Let me just ask you, since you're involved in the fostering ministry, 18 years serving at one place, is that a long time?
That is.
In LCSW career?
Yes, and our ministry, just in the social work field, to stay in one agency or one place for that long is not very heard of. A lot of people bounce around and will just jump around from agency to agency. So.
Well, June of 25, Family Church will be 35 years since we founded it, which is very uncommon for someone to be at the same church 35 years. Our children's pastor, 29 years, youth pastor, 15 or 18 or 20, because they served at Second Chance Youth Ranch too. Billy and Rachel been at the ranch. Were they there before you? They were.
They came in December of 06. I came in August of 07. Wow. So they have about 6 months on me.
And that's and for them to be where they're at and doing what they're doing. So Chad, tell me, because we want Cassie to talk, we want to give her time to get nervous. What is it that's kept you at Second Chance Youth Ranch? What is it? What is the divine connection other than me being such a great guy?
Definitely, that's part of it. I really loved. I worked in the secular field for a number of years, and one of the things that was really important was this whole thing between my education, as far as with the psychology and social work field, and my faith.
Yeah.
And in the world, that's very much separated. Psychology and the church don't get along very well. And so one of the blessings, one of the wonderful things about Second Chance Ranch is it's really blended both things.
Holistic, spirit, soul,
Yes.
and body.
Yes.
They're all connected.
And I talk to people about how Second Chance Ranch is God-centered, family-oriented, treatment-driven.
Yeah.
That our basis is on God. Family is vital to us, but we're really about healing. And the healing takes place in a number of different areas,
Yeah.
but that we need all three of those to really make this work.
Yeah. So, Cassie, tell me about you. Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have 2 biological older brothers, and right now I have 5 younger foster sisters.
Wow. So you've only had Cassie and boys.
Yes, she was our baby, and yeah, she rocked our house as soon as she came out. We knew we were in for it.
Well, I'm a daddy of 2 girls, so I know how spoiled you are.
Yeah.
Did he spoil you? Did you spoil him?
Oh, maybe a little bit of both.
Can I ask, because I'm going to, can I ask how old you are?
I'm 20.
20. Are you going to college somewhere?
Not right now.
No, you're just taking care of foster kids.
Just taking care of foster
Now, wait a
kids.
minute. You said how many foster sisters?
5.
All right, let me do the count, because I know where you live, Chad.
Yeah.
So how many kids y'all got right now at the house?
We have 5 right now.
5 foster
Yeah.
children, plus Cassie?
Plus Cassia, plus my son Isaiah, who's 23.
Yeah.
So, but in the past, I would say 6 months or so, at one point for about a 30 or 60-day period, we actually had 10 kids in our house. I was talking to Pastor Perry. I was trying to get up to his 19 with his mom, but we just couldn't get there with the number of people. We had 14 people in the house at that time, and I was like, I don't know if I could do 5 more, sir. That's a challenge.
It is interesting dynamic without question.
Yes,
But you got to do what you got to do to help kids and change lives.
definitely.
But now you have an older son that's married.
Yes, my oldest son and his wife live in Blue Mountain or Magazine area, and I have a granddaughter who is a little over 1, and then we're expecting our second granddaughter in June.
Oh, life is good.
Yeah, it's good. We enjoy going up there, and we enjoy blessing
And
them.
all of those blessings are because you're connected to Second Chance Youth Ranch.
Exactly, yeah.
But I'm joking, but I'm really not, because when you get involved with what is dear to God's heart, which is orphans and widows,
Yeah.
God will get you good.
Well, just over this May will be 4 years we've been fostering, and Cassia can tell stories. I can tell stories. We fill up the whole time just with these, how God has miraculously provided for us over and over again. We're in our, Joanna and I are in our 50s, and so we're kind of late to the game a little bit in fostering, but it's just been amazing just the provisions that have taken place when we've been obedient, clearly hearing this was our time. We needed to foster, and when doing that, God has just really stepped up in ways that we didn't even ask for.
All right, then hang on, and we'll be right back, and I want to hear about these miracles.
A mission field around you is filled with young hearts needing a forever family. And at Second Chance Youth Ranch, our team is committed to providing healthy, stable, loving homes and families to hurting children in the Arkansas foster care system and those up for adoption. Please contact us if you feel the tug at your heart to help foster or adopt, and find out the steps you could take to help fulfill a child's lifelong dream. Maybe you can't foster or adopt, but you could help. The need for thousands of children in the system is staggering. But with the help of faithful partners and business alliances, we are meeting those needs right now. Would you help us make a difference? Every gift, regardless of size, impacts a child's life directly and helps provide for a home in the gap right now. Visit the Second Chance Youth Ranch website at 2CYR.org to read more, watch the stories, and to make a contribution for a hurting child's care. Monthly partners are needed, so please contact us right away. And as you partner with this ministry, you are partnering with the Heavenly Father that has promised to be Father to the fatherless. God bless you for helping Second Chance Youth Ranch.
Hey, welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Our special guest, Chad Strike. He is our clinical director, along with his staff, which he'll talk about, and his wonderful, sweet, kind, and lovely daughter, Cassie, who is 20 years old and are single?
Yes.
You are single? But I see you at church sometimes, but you're not just totally single, are you? Are you in a friendship?
Oh, I'm single.
Oh, she's single. Oh, man, the emails are flooding in. Hey, Chad, tell me, how do you go from being the clinical director, because we currently have approximately 85 foster children in our care. How do you go from being the clinical director with how many counselors do you work with at Second Chance Youth Ranch?
On the clinical staff, we have approximately 6 to 7 total staff members.
Some of
that I
those are
supervise.
case managers.
Some of them are case managers. We have about 3-4 therapists.
Yeah.
Some are just part-time and do a few hours, but altogether we have about 6 or 7 clinical staff that.
So tell me, how do you go from being the clinical director, working with the staff, and CCI, Counseling Clinic in Benton, which is a great partnership and dear friends of the ranch and our community. How do you go from that to taking that first leap into fostering?
Well,
knowing that you've got children of your own.
Well, a big portion of that is this one right here.
Oh, you're the one.
She had been bugging Joanna for years and years to foster, and like she wanted
how
a
old
sister.
was she? About 12? 12, 13?
Probably younger.
I was gonna say, I would say 6 or 7. Like she always wanted a sister, and so she knew she'd been in the ministry, and Second Chance Ranch creates an atmosphere where I was allowed to bring my family a part of it. I felt like they were safe, and so they were always the whole 18 years they've been at the ranch. They knew all the foster parents, and Bill and Rachel.
You spend summers out there, Cassie? During the summer breaks with school, did you go out to the ranch with Dad?
I'd go out with him all the time, and I had a friend there that I would go and spend the night at her ranch home, and so
Who was the friend? You remember?
Oh goodness.
Was it a foster friend, or was it a foster parent?
It was a foster parent and their biological children.
I got you.
They had a daughter and 2 sons, and we
So
had.
you go out there and hang out.
Yeah.
And tell me about that, Cassie. We'll interrupt Dad for a minute. Tell me, when you went to the ranch, I mean, it's an Old West town, and it's way out in the middle of 40,000 acres of forestry. Even though it's 35 minutes from West Little Rock and 40 minutes from Benton and Bryant, but it's very rural. But at the same time, it's very serene.
Yeah.
It's beautiful out there, isn't it?
It's beautiful. Yes.
And so what was it that moved you at a preteen where you wanted to foster? Dad, why can't we do this?
Well, I'd been the youngest and the only girl, and so I was like, oh, we have room, let's just bring a little girl in. And I would bug them, and me and my mom would look at like all the websites about adoption, and I'd be like, yeah, that's my sister, and we just look like every day.
Your mom would do that with you, and then y'all ambushed Dad at some point?
Well, we were on board.
Yeah.
We had to talk my mama into it.
Oh, it was nice, the dreaming part.
Yes.
It's like when Pastor Caldwell asked me, as soon as we opened the ranch, he said, are you excited about this? And I said, no, sir, not anymore. He said, you're not? And I said, no, this is a lifetime of work now. So it's easy to look at the pictures, isn't it? We'll show Project Zero video here in a minute, and we'll see beautiful little children praying and asking to be adopted. And that's so sweet. But you get to bring them in your home. Tell me about that.
I think it comes with its pros and cons for sure. Every child is different and has different backgrounds that you just have to learn and know how to allow them to cope in your home. And really, like, it's just the best reward, getting to love on all these little children.
What was the difference? How old is your brother? How much older is your next brother?
23, so he's 3 years older.
Yeah, so you're not just a little baby girl.
Yeah.
But so what's the dynamic? Of course, these are girls that y'all have. You have 5 girls?
Right now we have 5 girls.
Plus Cassie.
Plus Cassie.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine the chaos, the giggling,
it's actually calmer than what it's been in the past. So it's as crazy as
So
that
what's the
sounds.
difference between having 2 brothers and now having 5 little, I guess they're all little sisters.
Yes.
What's the difference, the dynamic from a perspective of a young lady?
It's totally different. Totally different. I used to be the one that would, get picked on and left out, and now I get to pick on them, and it's pretty fun.
Tease them and stuff.
Yeah.
She's like the Pied Piper. Whenever she comes in the room, all the kids, they're all running up to Cassia and giving
Help them
her.
pick out their clothes, do their hair.
They're
all
my
that.
little Barbie dolls.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So is there anything you'd do different?
Oh no,
You
I
just
wouldn't
love it.
want it any other
love
way.
Well, I don't know why Dad's here. Tell me, as a 20-year-old young lady that's deeply involved in fostering, what are you thinking about in your future?
It's a non-negotiable for every relationship I get in that they have to be willing to foster and adopt, or I won't be in it.
So a guy comes up and says, "Hey, you want to go down and get a coffee?" And you say, "Well, are you interested in fostering?"
Yeah.
Or do you wait?
I wait a minute just to get to know,
Until you actually have the coffee, huh?
Yes.
That is amazing. I am so impressed.
Yeah.
Chad, you and Joanne have done a great job.
Cassia's a blessing. And in fact, really, we've gotten a lot of calls, and a lot of times we'll get calls that are kids that are just coming into care. We've had a number of kids that have been fresh into foster care. And Cassia's my go-to. Like if we have an emergency placement, I always make sure that Cassia is there because, Pastor, it is so amazing. And I know you've seen this as far as with your grandkids and your children as far as ministering, but when you can see your kids ministering, ooh, you're going to make me cry. But it's amazing because we have a young lady that's been in our house now for over a year, and I remember her first time she came, and Cassia does so great ministering, and she just immediately creates that healing relationship that lasts. That's a deep, really strong relationship.
I'm a preacher, so when I think of ministering, I'm thinking, boy, I'm going to minister to them. But really, you're just building friendship relationship,
Yes.
which is the most effective evangelism model there is, and that's friendship evangelism. In your case, it's almost not even friendship, it's family evangelism, where they're welcomed into the home. And so, does Dad need to see a counselor himself? He's brought all these kids into the house.
I think we all probably could use a little.
It's been a bit different. It's been a different of a change. But in doing this now, Joanna, who was kind of the one that was hesitant, is like, when we have space, she knows, okay, we're just getting ready for the next crew.
For example, Super Bowl Sunday, late in the evening, we get a phone call.
Second half.
We get a phone call. I say we, because I'm French. We get a phone call from DCFS. We've got 3 boys on the bench downtown with no place to go, and we're trying to find a permanent placement. They show up at your house with 5 sisters, and they stay 2 or 3 days, and then they get to go back with some family members. That's what mentoring, fostering is all about. And it's families like this and people just like you that can change the world for a child. We'll be right back.
A family is someone who can really love you. I want a family a family member that speaks Spanish and English. Hola amigo, my name is Ovidio, I'm 13. I like to listen to music. My favorite food is pizza. My favorite movie is Fast and Furious. My favorite season is summer. When I grow up, I want to be a mechanic. My favorite subject is social studies. I love to learn about American history.
If you could have one time period in American history where you'd want to live, what time period would that be?
When the Constitution was being signed, because it will be interesting to see the signing it. Philadelphia.
Is it hard moving from place to place?
Yeah.
Yeah. You said you do want to be adopted?
Yeah.
Can you tell me why you want to be adopted?
Because I want to live with a family that can take care of me. I need someone to be with me the whole time. I wouldn't live the same life as I had in my past. If I got adopted, I would have a different life. I had one wish, it would be that I could be in a happy place.
Welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Cassie, I don't know how much you actually see this TV show because I know dear friends of mine that don't watch my TV shows, but we just came back from a Project Zero video, which I know you've seen some of those at our banquet, where children are literally being interviewed and they're sharing their heart. I want to be adopted. I want somebody to love me. That just, And your home is open. What can you tell our viewers? Why should they prayerfully consider just taking that step? They may not bring in 5 little sisters or 3 brothers in the second half of the Super Bowl, but they've always thought about, and they watch these videos and they're watching this show on purpose, they've thought what it would like to be a foster parent or a foster family or a foster sibling. What can you tell us?
Well, anytime I tell people about our family dynamic, the main thing that they always say is, oh, I can never do that. I get so attached. And I'm always like, that's what they need. Like, they need that attachment, and it's always, if I have to lose a little bit of myself so they can have more of them, that's enough for us. Like,
But you really don't lose you, you give you away.
yes, yes.
And they take that with them. How hard has it been? You've got 5. Are those 5 siblings?
We have a sibling group of 4. That's 5, 4, 16 months, and then 4 months. And then we have another 4-year-old, almost 5-year-old that we've had for about a year.
So was it hard for them to open up? You're so sweet and kind and bubbly. I can't imagine it would be. But do they just begin to open up when they begin to receive? Because they come in some sort of trauma and trepidation, if nothing else. So, what's it like?
The relationship is almost immediate, at least for me. Like, I'm one of the first peoples at the DHS car when the kids pull into the driveway, and it's just like, they need love. I got it, and I'm gonna give it all to them.
It's amazing. It's amazing to watch.
Overflows.
It really is.
Yeah.
Situations where we've had kids that have been upset, you can really just see her operating in her gifts. That it's just, she's a calming spirit, and really immediately, and she's done it a number of times. Not just one time, but it's been a number of times when we've had to do that in the middle of the night.
And the Hubbard's little girl kind of, even though she's much younger, does similarly with some of the little ones as well. And that's the thing that people always question is, well, how can I do it? The thing about at least what we do, I only know what we do and what I'm told other organizations do, and there's many great organizations that are in fostering in this state, and we partner with them and we're dear friends with them and encourage people to support them too. But what we do as a placement agency is we don't just give you foster kids. We support you. We're behind the scenes. We're proactive in reaching out to our foster families. How can we help you? What do you need? Are you getting any support you're not getting that we can help you with? And then the clinical staff is there as well. What happens when a child is really having a really difficult time 7 o'clock at night, Chad?
Yeah. So we have, for each foster parent, they have a team, a case manager and a therapist, and just support staff that are continually surrounding. So when a kid's having a hard time or difficulty, we kind of circle the wagons and it's like, okay, what do we need to do? How do we need to help? Do they need kind of a break? Or we're always looking at just for as far as how we can support the kids and the foster parents as far as in that situation. Which is, we've had lots of foster parents who have come to be with us because they weren't having that support with the state or with other places.
Yeah. Well, it's easy. It's so easy when you've got so many moving parts to be dealing, kind of even as a pastor, you're always putting out this fire or dealing with this heart attack, this emergency, this funeral. You've still got people over here in recovery mode that still need to be supported. And that's really what we do at Second Chance Youth Ranch and our entire staff is we don't want to get so busy trying to solve the crisis that we let other people live in crisis. we want our foster families to feel the support and where they don't feel like they're out there on their own, just God help me here.
And it becomes a big family.
Yeah.
You know, it becomes about how can I help that foster parent? You know, how can we bless that? We're always looking for ways that we can bless those people around us, and then in return, we're continually getting blessed.
Yeah, you know, the one thing I'm supposed to do this week is go look at a church in Little Rock, because we don't know exactly what will happen, but we've been believing God for maybe a older church building that's vacant, that has a fellowship hall, a place where we can get together as all of our group and do training, and then a fellowship hall where we can have gatherings for the foster children, the siblings, etc. And there's also 4 homes. I hadn't even told you this, but there's also 4 homes around that church that may be able to be renovated and turned into foster homes in the UALR area.
Wow.
And so God is always moving behind the scenes. But homes do me no good unless I have foster parents who are willing to live there and take a child or 2, or 5 or 6, or 3 at a time. So tell me, Cassie, what would you tell any families watching and they have children, and they're like, well, how do I bring foster children into my home? I already have a child, or already have 2 children. How will that impact my family?
Well, as far as I know, most of our families at the ranch have biological children, and all it is more love, extra love, and more friends. Like, they become best friends, all these younger siblings. They become best friends. And I mean, even my younger siblings, even though there's a large age gap, they're my best friends, and I love spending time with them, and it's just extra love in a home.
Well, you know, when I used to do family seminars, I used as an example, well, I just don't know if I can love. I don't know how I would let them go. I say, if you see a puppy, first thing, when you drive down on Walmart parking lot, they've got the cage out there in the back of the station wagon, and they got puppies. You want to drive over and look at the puppies. Well, the problem is, you look at the puppies, what do you want to do? Take the puppies home. Well, we're not talking about puppies. We're talking about little humans, sometimes big humans, older teenagers, and they are in trauma. Does anybody love me? Does anybody care? And I'm here to say openly at Second Chance Youth Ranch, Agape Church, Family Church, and many of the homes and organizations in our state, we care. And I know you're watching this show, and you wouldn't be watching this show if you didn't care. But don't just care. Pray for us. If you want to send a gift, it'll be used to help change the life of a child. But make that phone call. You might talk to Chad, you might talk to Liz or Rachel or Kinsey, and they'll tell you how we can help you. Not just train you, but help you and then surround you. We're not just going to give you a bunch of kids and then leave you out there winging it like my mama had to do. And so if you're interested in knowing more about mentoring, fostering, adopting, supporting, volunteering, doing all kinds of different community projects, contact us right here at Second Chance Youth Ranch TV or 2CYR.org. In the meanwhile, we'll see you next week right here at Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Bye-bye.